They told him not to touch it. The locals had warned Eric Dunlin, Earthborn genolinguist and part-time Archaeo scout, that the spear embedded in the obsidian pillar was sacred untouchable, and that only the chosen of the line of Votari could dare approach it. Of course, the Galactic Union had rules about respecting native rituals, but Eric had learned early that curiosity didn't respect rules, and neither did ancient Tech. He was on the 5th moon of Zeron 6, deep within the Votari Dominion, an empire of honor-bound warriors and ironclad codes. They had only recently opened talks with Earth after the Battle of Talar Reach. Now, peace hung by a thread, and Eric was one of the few humans trusted enough to walk among them. The tomb was massive vaulted ceilings of starstone and glowing etchings that pulsed with old power. At the center stood the grave of General Shalith, warrior mother of the Votari Empress, and beside it, the spear of Sarkai, lodged in black crystal like a blade in myth. Eric didn't mean to pull it. He was translating the carvings, reaching out to brush a glyph when his fingers grazed the spear's shaft. There was a click, a sudden hum, and before he could react, shank, the spear slid free. Silence, then alarms. Then warriors dopped by the time they dragged him from the tomb. Eric had the spear slung over one shoulder, and a dozen Votari warriors snarling like thunder. He expected a tribunal. Maybe execution. Definitely some intense diplomatic scolding. What he didn't expect was to wake up in ceremonial robes with a crown of bone vine on his head and a very angry alien woman pacing in front of him. "You pulled the spear," she growled. Her voice was like molten silver rough but mesmerizing. Yes, that was unintentional. She stared at him with glowing teal eyes. Her armor was ceremonial, engraved with the sigils of command. Her hair, braided with fangs, flowed like a predator's mane. "I am Jalira, daughter of Shalith, first blade of the Dominion. You have enacted the rite of binding." "Is that bad? It is marriage?" Eric blinked. "Come again?" "The spear is soul-bound. Only a mate worthy of Shalith's blood may retrieve it. You touched it. You pulled it. The Dominion recognizes you as chosen. By law, by tradition, you are now my consort." Eric slowly raised a hand. "So, I married into an alien warrior dynasty by archaeology?" The weeks that followed were a blur. Jalira was furious. At first, but not with him, with fate. The ritual was thousands of years old, forged when warriors chose mates through strength and fate signs. Breaking it would dishonor her lineage. Honor, to the Votari, was life. So she tolerated him, tested him, mocked him, but Eric didn't break. He asked questions, studied her people, stood tall even when she threw spears at his head accidentally. The court of warriors laughed at him until he mapped out ancient warpaths that helped them reclaim lost territory from pirate raiders. Until he taught them how to counter Terran kinetic strike patterns from old war simulations. Until he saved Jalira from an assassination attempt by using nothing but a datapad, a laser pointer, and gravity math. That's when everything changed. One night, beneath the twin moons of Otero, Jalira sat beside Eric on a balcony of black stone. The stars glimmered. Below, her people celebrated the return of the spear. "You were not supposed to survive the court," she murmured. "Good thing I'm not good at doing what I'm told." She turned to him, eyes softer now. "Why didn't you run? Any human would avoid jump home by now." "Because I don't run from things that matter." He looked at her. "And because I think I'm starting to understand you. All this, your pride, your pain, your duty, silence." In a whisper, "And what do you see, human?" He smiled. "A woman standing alone, holding up an empire, who deserves someone who won't let her carry it all by herself." Months passed. What began as law-bound union turned into something deeper. The court stopped laughing. The warriors began saluting. The galaxy began whispering. The human who married the warlord's daughter. The alien who chose a Terran scholar over 10,000 suitors. The spearbinder. The Death World consort. Years later, in the halls of the Dominion Citadel when war threatened. The stars again, and the united fleets of 24 worlds stood ready. It wasn't just Jalira leading them, Dot. It was Eric and Jalira, strategist and warrior, bonded by fate and fire, and at the heart of the flagship bridge, mounted in starlight and honor, was the spear of Sarkai, still glowing, still bound, still sacred.